Yeah.
Second.
You guys ready? Okay, cool. All good. This meeting is being held in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Annual notice of this meeting was published in the Union County Local Source and the Newark Star Ledger. Said notice was posted in the municipal building, and a copy is on file with the Office of the Borough Clerk. Fire exits are located in the directions I'm indicating. If you're alerted for a fire, please move in a calm, orderly manner to the nearest smoke-free exit. Proper notice having been given, the Borough Clerk is directed to include the statement in the minutes of the meeting. Please call the roll, Andrew.
Councilman Petrosky.
Here.
Councilman Johnson.
Present.
Councilman Signorello.
Here.
Councilman Robina is absent. Councilwoman Lyons.
Here.
Councilman Patel.
Here.
Mayor Signorello.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mayor.
Okay. Opening prayer and pledge of allegiance.
Eternal God, grant us thy help in all our duties and perplexities. We ask for thy guidance. Give us thy protection in our dangers and sorrows. Grant us thy peace. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, there are no communications for review this evening. We're going to punt on Bike Month and Mental Health Awareness Month for the next meeting. But we do have Jill here, who is generously donating a AED enclosure and device. So very excited to receive that, and we're going to have her come up and talk. Public Safety Chair, Greg Johnson, you want to join me? Oh, yeah, do you mind?
Yeah, I can do it.
So I'll let Jill tell her story. It's a very incredible and harrowing one. We're very proud to take this donation, very happy to take this donation of a life-saving device, potentially life-saving device. And hopefully this is the start, right? So we'll take this one donation, but I'd like to make sure in our public spaces and in our municipal buildings, we have these readily available. So Jill, I'll let you kind of take it away.
So on June 25th, 2021, at Echo Lake Dog Park, I died. My friend was there, and she's actually from Roselle Park. She started immediate CPR, and while we waited, or they waited for 15 minutes for the paramedics to get there, she did compressions, and I am alive because of her. We are trying, so I started the Aliver Foundation in January. We are trying to get these yellow boxes all over as many communities as possible, because the issue is people focus on sporting events, people focus on kids, they focus on practice, right? They focus on having them inside buildings, but what happens when the door's locked or that practice isn't happening, but you still have people recreating, right? Like we were. And so what these boxes allow you to do is you call 911, they give you the code, you type the code in, you open the door, and the AED is right there. All it needs is an electrical source. So if you see them in the parks and they're in those metal boxes, chances are when you go to use that AED, it's not going to work. Because we live in New Jersey, we have freezing, extreme temperatures, and a lot of these places don't think about the fact that an AED's battery and pads cannot last in freezing temperatures. So let's say they were tested, DPW or police or whoever goes out and tests them on, let's say, today, and then let's say tomorrow it's 29 degrees. Let's say you have cardiac arrest in the park, you're walking with a friend, they go to get that AED, chances are it's not going to work. So we're working with a lot of communities to either upgrade what they have or to install these, and our foundation decided that we wanted to give the first one that we fundraised for to Roselle Park. We had met and we had a fantastic conversation and really want to try to get more of these here and build them into the community's budget, because hopefully nobody will ever need to open that, but if you do, it's going to save somebody's life. And the best part about AED is most people don't know how easy they are to use. Literally, it's on the pads, tells you exactly where to put them. When you press that green button, you don't need to know Staying Alive. You don't need to know the 20 Taylor Swift songs that you can do compressions to, because it's going to read that heart, tell you if it's even necessary, and it's going to tap them out for you. And all it needs is an electric source. So we're so happy to be able to do this tonight and to unveil, I think, the first Wednesday of June, because that is CPR AED Awareness Week. And so we're really excited to just get everything rolling here. And thank you for being so awesome and really making this a priority. Roselle Park is awesome. Your people are awesome. And the fact that they just jump in and take care of business is amazing. So thank you.
Thank you. We can all carry a little piece of it. Hold on one second. Let me move this. Yeah, there we go.
Take two of yours and two of mine.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you. Got it, thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, may I have a motion to approve meeting minutes pending any corrections?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public hearing on the 2020, yeah, you got this?
Bills.
Oh, may I have a motion that bills and payrolls be not read and passed for payment?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. Mayor, this is the time fixed for the public hearing on the 2024 municipal budget. The budget was approved by the governing body on April 4th, 2024, was advertised as required by law on April 18th, 2024, together with a notice of public hearing for this time and place. Printed copies have been made available to the public during the past week and are available at this public hearing on the entrance to council chambers.
Okay. Anyone who's not secured a copy of the budget may do so now. Each person desiring to be heard shall rise, seat themselves at the public desk, and give their name and address before speaking. All questions are to be addressed to the chair. Where necessary, they will be referred to individual members of the governing body or municipal officials. Questions and commentary must be confined solely to the 2024 municipal budget. School or county matters are not proper subjects of this hearing and cannot be discussed or answered during this meeting. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on the 2024 budget?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The public hearing on the 2024 budget is now open. Anybody wishing to come speak on the budget may do so now.
Milt Woodruff. I'm on Bender Avenue, Roselle Park, a 51-year resident of the town. But anyway, looking at the budget, I was a little bit surprised that you're talking about raising another $1.6 million for bonds and notes when you already owe $16 million on our budget. And we already spend a significant portion of our budget paying off the bonds and the interest.
Yep.
And especially in view of the fact that our budget appears to show a $2 million surplus. With the recycling, I think we ought to consider, between the recycling and the sanitation, consider expanding the recycling program. Because the more stuff you recycle, hopefully Now, it will have a positive impact on what we do recycle, and if we promote the program, hopefully, it'll also lower that, because it also impacts, well, the town pays for garbage disposal, because the less that goes into recycling lowers our cost there as well. I notice there are also insurance costs for employees, and to the tune of roughly over $2 million. And this is a small percentage is contributed by the employees. That seems like an awful lot of money to pay for insurance for public employees. And also with the, with the sewer utility, you have on the budget, you have money that's being paid to Roe Valley, joint meeting, the city of Elizabeth, and also there's a reserve for a joint meeting capital of $750,000. And also, we also have a recreation trust. I didn't see any in the budget covering that portion either. This money goes to the rec department and pays for the building of center of town. But I don't see the money's coming in or going out in the municipal budget.
Is that a question or just a comment?
Pardon me?
Is that a question or just a comment on the trust?
It's a question.
Okay.
Where is it?
Yeah, I don't know, Ken, if you want to speak to the,
The Recreation has a trust fund that was established by dedication by rider, which is needed by law for the state of New Jersey. The programs that are funded through there, our fees are collected for those programs. We used to have to support those with some municipal budget funds. We have no longer provided any funds except for money going towards salaries. We don't have to, all the costs are covered by the fees collected for each program.
But who oversees the actual coming and going, the expenses?
Anything paid out of Recreation Trust is on the bill list every meeting.
But who actually sees those statements?
Sees what statements? The bank statements? They're reconciled in the finance office every month.
Because they have money coming in, money going out, and it's not $1.98.
The money is all accounted for, I can guarantee you that.
Well, as the governing body, I would think we would have some sort of oversight to it.
The records are audited once a year, every year, as a
I
requirement of the
understand.
state of
I
New Jersey.
appreciate that.
And the
But by the
Recreation
same
Trust
token,
is in that.
Isn't the public entitled to know that also?
Yes,
the bills are public. They're on every meeting.
They don't show the income in that?
in the audit it does.
Pardon me?
The audit shows the income for each program.
But we don't see the audit.
You can, it's on file in the library, it's online.
Was there any further questions, or was it just the commentary on that?
Well, not a commentary on that. I just curious about the need to raise another $1.6 million bond and notes. And we already owe $16 million.
Yep.
And it's a $2.2 million that we're paying on these. Doesn't seem to make financial sense.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll take a stab at it, and Andrew can continue if, I missed anything. But I would say throughout the state, in most municipalities, things like road work, parks, anything that's going to be there for a while. We did the sidewalks in Chestnut Street last year. These things are paid for via debt issuance and capital. I think we've been pretty responsible with that. As a matter of fact, we are paying down more this
That's
year.
already in the budget.
I don't understand the question. There's additional roads we're doing.
When you exceeded the cap, that was a 3.5.
Is there a cap being exceeded this year, Ken?
No, we increased the cap from the 2.5% to 3.5% by law, by the
Absolutely.
ordinance, which is allowed and done every year.
I understand that. But that money, that additional money in that raising the cap
Yes.
shows the capital improvements that we're talking about.
I understand, but I mean, capital improvements are needed, sir, right?
Absolutely.
So
But you're still
roads need to
showing
get done.
a $2 million surplus.
We have a surplus, I mean, you can, or Andrew can talk more to a surplus, but, you know, for both credit rated agencies and also just
That's what it
a
shows.
rainy day fund, we have a surplus for,
$2 million?
Yes.
yes,
I
yeah.
hope it don't rain.
There's towns that have $12 million budget surpluses because they have higher operating budgets.
Well, quite frankly, as one of the real estate owners in town, I'd appreciate any kind of tax relief and tax adjustment, reducing the taxes that you guys can conjure up.
I would love to see tax relief and tax reduction.
Well, that $2 million surplus would be a good start.
Yeah, I understand that. I would say that it's a systemic issue in the state of New Jersey, and I think we need more state relief to do that. I think it's something that we struggle with broadly. You know, we have salaries increasing every year.
What about the insurance?
Mayor, excuse me 1 minute. We are anticipating $2 million in the budget. That is $2 million of the surplus used to help offset the taxes.
Got it. Thank you. I don't know, Andrew, if there's anything else you want to mention on this.
Yeah, so we have systematically, over the course of time, increased the use of surplus, right? So the amount of money you're quoting, the $2 million, is being applied to offset the tax impact to residents this year.
How is that working?
How is
You already raised it.
how is it working? If
You
you
already
cut
raised
2
it.
million out, it'll be another 2 million that the taxpayers would have to pay.
Already raised it. And what about,
Correct. So I think to balance out the conversation, we're using $2 million of surplus the borough currently has in its coffers to
A couple of
mitigate
things
the impact on taxpayers. Now, it's not a complete mitigation, to your
well,
point.
maybe
You're
what we
still,
want to consider though, is whether we get some money from the federal government to pay the service work that we're talking about doing.
But that's,
What grant money?
but that's not in the,
available.
that's not in the, so that is in the,
I know.
that is in the sewer bill, but that's not in the general taxes. And we are actively searching for grant money. But we also need to, but there's, what we're going to have to pay is for sewer infrastructure. And then we also have to pay a fee to a neighboring town going forward because our runoff goes into another town. I mean, I don't love it either, but it's been a lawsuit hanging over our heads for years.
Well, I think most everybody in town is impressed with the fact that we're going to spend over $300,000 for a statue for a guy who really essentially gave us the Flying Five.
Yep.
A Boy Scout park that, as a former Scout person, never heard of.
Okay.
And we're putting up banners again,
Yes.
over $300,000. No wonder our taxes are going up.
Okay.
Mayor, if I could just add something just to bring some clarity to an issue. So the bond principal that Mr. Woodruff is referencing, the $1.65 million, is the total amount being paid. The increase year over year to the amount of bond principal in the budget is due to a bond sale that we conducted last year for 3 years' worth of bonds authorized. So 3 years' worth of debt for roads and other improvements to the municipality, not including the ones that you just referenced,
Yeah, right now
were
the budget-
sold, and the $76,000 difference is the amount that we sold last year. That's the difference year over year.
And Mayor.
Yep.
And Mayor, keep in mind, I think he mentioned about the insurance. That was a state mandate that we all complained about last year. So I just wanted to put that out there. It was a 26%.
These are statewide insurance plans are massively going up. It is a systemic problem that we unfortunately suffer from. I agree. I pay taxes here too. Would anybody else like to come up and speak on the budget specifically?
Jerry Veltri, Raglan Drive. I know there's money set aside in the budget for Acker Park and for banners and trestles. Is there any breakdown on Acker Park, what's going to be replaced or be new in there? And on the banners and trestles, I think we have Galloping Hill, Chestnut Street, and Locust Street. Are those the three trestles?
Yeah, so right now it's Galloping Hill, Locust Street, and Chestnut Street. This
So,
will be replacing the Chestnut Street.
It would be 6 banners, correct?
No, just 2. So just the Chestnut Street ones we'd be replacing. They're fading.
Okay, I actually looked at them all over the past couple
And
days.
just one other thing, Jerry, just real quick. So the other paint job that we would do is the trestles as you enter Roselle Park that go over Westfield Avenue.
Okay.
So we would look to paint those. We wouldn't put banners over them, but we paint them flat color because they're rusted and kind of dirty right
Right.
now.
That's on the Roselle Park line, right?
No, it's in Roselle Park. We'll do the section. It's like, look, when you're going down from Frenchie's, as you go towards Romorowski, there's
Right.
that hanging over train line.
Okay,
That's the one that we would paint.
okay.
Yeah.
But on the replacement would be Chestnut Street?
The replacement, we would replace the banners there, yep.
I mean, I took a look at it. It doesn't look tattered, torn, or anything. Maybe you could use a power wash? I don't know.
It's fading. I mean, also, look, I think the message is rebuild Roselle Park. I think we're on our way to rebuilding. Also, Rosanna thinks it's ugly, so I think it's time to
What,
change
the
it.
color?
If you go to the other one that we just redid and compare, it's not about that. I mean, if you go there and see, it's a welcoming point and an
Right.
exiting point, and just to freshen it up, and I did, I even on the other side, on the Locust side, it's,
It needs a fresher.
yeah.
I think it makes town look. I mean, also look on the scale of things. Not that we're irresponsible with taxpayers' money. Every dollar is important, but it's
Right.
it's a lower bill on this. Like, I mean, that probably breaks down to $3,000 a banner or so.
And on Acker Park, is there any breakdown on what we're going to do there? Is there broken equipment or new stuff being put in?
So there's a ton of broken equipment. That we think, quite frankly, the whole place needs an overhaul. It is one thing that we're putting very little of our own money into. We received direct state aid for $1.5 million of that last year.
Grant money?
Of grant money, yes. So that does not add to our debt. So a lot of that's going to be paid for by the state.
Okay. Can I ask one question?
Sure.
Not pertaining to the budget?
No, you can come back, though.
Okay.
Yep. Anybody else on the budget specifically? I know what Mary Ann's going to talk about.
You do?
I think.
You think? Okay. Mary Ann Brenner, 141 Charlotte Terrace. In the section for the improvements in section M, it says improvements on Grant Avenue from Locust to Union Road.
So this is municipal budget, not
Right.
not capital, not bond ordinance.
Right, this is on the
Operational, so like whatever's in the operational.
schedule of improvements in,
Sorry, go ahead, keep going.
okay. No, it's
Oh,
just,
it's in the
I
capital
was
part
just,
of the operating budget? Right, we're not on
Ordinance
we're not on the
27
bond ordinance.
we're not on 2776?
No.
Okay,
Municipal budget. We'll have a public hearing on 2776,
okay, no, okay, so.
just
that's-
on the operating budget. You can come back
Oh,
up, trust
no,
me,
all right,
you
so
won't miss it,
the
we'll call you out.
road- No, I mean, road improvement is not under,
No.
okay.
Anybody else? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, no takers. Okay, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on the 2024 municipal budget?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The public hearing on the 2024 budget is now closed. Final adoption of the 2024 budget will be considered during the portion of the agenda where resolutions are regularly considered. May I have a motion to open the public portion on agenda items only?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now anybody can come up and speak on agenda items. And also, there'll be a public portion on the ordinances too, if you want to speak specifically to an ordinance. No takers on agenda items? You can come now, but you could also come during the ordinance. It's up to you. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm seeing no one. May I have a motion to close the public portion on agenda items only?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Rich, I saw you first. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So the code office has been very, very busy as of late. As you can see, as you drive up and down Westfield Avenue, we're getting close to temporary certificate of occupancies for Building A at 10 West Westfield. So that's moving along quite nicely. We're anticipating TCOs there by May 15th. Couple of outstanding issues.
That's the Sullivan Chevrolet property for everybody who No, nobody knows what that is.
The former Sullivan Chevrolet
Yeah,
property.
yeah.
Nevertheless, I'm going to present my report for May 1st. So the total number of permits for April were 192. Total revenue through the end of April, $465,861. Sewer connection fees year-to-date, $2,002. Code development fees year-to-date, $2,384. We had 14 uniform construction code violations. On the property maintenance side, we had 9 court dispositions with fines year-to-date of $8,016. 90 violations were issued in April, so we are running ragged with our code enforcement element. And 16 court summonses were also issued. As I stated with the former Sullivan Chevrolet, that is moving along quite nicely. In addition, I was out at Dowlings today. They'll be obtaining final inspections over the next week. They are hoping for a soft opening Friday night, next Friday night, provided Health Department approves that.
Yes.
Moving along quite nicely. When it opens, please go by. They did an outstanding job on the interior. Absolutely outstanding job.
Nice.
So my hope is, and right now I was out there today from.
And they're working on the other side already, right? I think
No.
they're gutting it. Oh, okay. Well, I
That's
we saw
been
them
gutted.
gutting it.
That
Okay.
was, I issued the permit for that last year.
Got it. Yeah.
They are obtaining the services of another architect to
For that
do the
side.
design on that
Okay.
side.
Yep.
As far as zoning completeness reviews and DRC, we do have a DRC meeting scheduled for next week, and that will be the project or the applicant for 1 East Westfield Avenue.
Okay.
Otherwise, that's my report. If anybody has any questions.
I just have a statement because Jay's usually here to ask you this, but I got pretty good news that we're likely going to see a tenant at the First Meridia project finally. Apparently a daycare center would like to move in, which would be nice. I don't know if it's an approved use, but we might have to amend the, we'll take a look at whether
We'll
it's,
take a look at it. 'Cause
whether or
I
not
don't
we need to
think
amend
it
it.
is, to be quite honest with you.
if we, I think we'd be happy to see it filled, so I think we'll entertain an amendment should one be needed.
Yeah.
And then they also, I think, have secured some tenants already for 10 Westfield for the.
Yeah, I'm not going
retail
to
component.
I'll let you let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah,
when
it's
closer.
good stuff. They have good momentum
stuff.
there.
It's very good stuff.
Yeah.
Also, while I'm thinking about it, I met with the owner of the movie theater today. We've been meeting the last month. He has a potential tenant for the movie theater.
Great.
So we're working on that now. They submitted a zoning application.
Would they be using it as a movie theater?
They will be using it as a movie theater and a production site.
Okay, got it.
So it's actually good. We have to look at the production part of it to see if they need a use variance for
Okay.
that in the B2 zone.
Okay.
But it is good news. So I'm very happy about it.
Awesome.
Rich, Dowlings is a CO, hopefully a full CO or TCO, whatever.
Hopefully a full CO for that side, hopefully. Fire inspection is going to be on Monday for the hood and suppression system, alarm system, and fire final. Electric final's on Monday. Plumbing final will be on Tuesday or Wednesday. Building final will be on Wednesday. Hopefully, the health department then can get out there they've already been out for a pre-operation, but for their operational inspection on Thursday or Friday. And if all goes well and I get the thumbs up from the health department, they'll receive a full CO.
I can get a sourdough grilled cheese next week. Anyway, I have another question. Grass. It's one of my pet peeves. Do we have, it's the same habitual person, 123 Acme Street, I don't want to come up a street. Every year, it's the same person. We got to go after him, or fine him. Do you have a running sheet saying, is the same, can we double fine him or, do something, encourage, it's the same 10, 12 houses every year, whatever. It's this high, whatever. Do we double or anyway?
The repeat offenders, when we go to court on the repeat offenders, we do ask the judge for escalating fines on that. Again, it's, the judge's court, so it's up to the judge. Generally, he does raise the fines on an ongoing basis.
Because a lot of people in town take care of their house, and there's the few don't care, and I've said this over the years, look, if you have a issue, you can't do it, this or that, I hope town could get somebody or find a cheap landscaper or whatever, but other than that, you have an issue, we could see if we could help. Other than that, that's all I have, thank you.
You got it, Councilman.
Thanks, Rich. All right, you're giggling back there, Paul. You're next. You get called to the front of the class. Do you have the hoodie? You got the sweaters for everybody? Oh, you gave them out? What'd you think about those?
Me?
Yeah, the sweatshirts?
I don't wear shorts.
Oh, my goodness. Paul.
I will not giggle in class.
Yes. Yeah, write it on the board.
Excuse me. Good evening, Mayor, Council, Borough Representatives, and residents of Roselle Park. Tonight, I'm providing an update on our Department of Public Works operations covering staffing, maintenance, updates, and ongoing programs. Staffing. Our DPW is currently staffed with 8 full-time employees, which include 1 superintendent, 1 clerical staff member, 1 mechanic, 2 operators, 2 Class 2 laborers, and 1 Class 1 labor. Grounds and lawn maintenance update. Our contracted vendor has been maintaining the lawns and grounds at approximately 30 locations throughout the borough through the month of April, dedicating 1 day per week to this task. They are scheduled to be in town every Monday, weather permitting. Should any work remain incomplete, they will try to address it the following morning. Downtown maintenance. Today marks the commencement of cleanup and maintenance of the T intersection of Chestnut Street and Westfield Avenue. The vendor's responsibilities are as follows. They will be operating in Roselle Park Downtown Central Business District on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, weather permitting and other factors permitting. Weeding sidewalks and tree wells once a week from April 1st to October 31st. General litter pickup and emptying public trash cans 3 times a week from April 1st through December 31st. Storm and sanitary sewer updates. On April 5th, we repaired 2 stormwater catch basins, one at the intersection of East Clay and Walnut, the other at 620 Laurel Avenue. In April, we responded to only three sanitary sewer calls, including only one required jetting at William Street due to a towel causing the blockage.
Oh, wow.
And that call was actually from Dowlings. Sidewalk program. Several weeks ago, over a period of 2 days, our vendor repaired 23 sidewalk locations on the east side as part of the sidewalk program. As a reminder, we repaired approximately the same amount last fall on the west side. We are currently accepting new applications for future repairs, although there's nothing scheduled for next round, which is to be determined.
We'll schedule something in the fall like we normally do.
Tree and property maintenance. In April, our shade tree vendors carried out the following work. They were only here twice, by the way, in the month of April due to rain. 3 tree removals, 6 tree trims and elevations, and 1 stump removal with topsoil and seeding. Flag poles. There seems to be an uproar recently about we're getting phone calls about the flags. We have engaged a vendor to restore and fix the flag poles along Westfield Avenue, the Casano Center, and the community garden. That should probably happen in the next couple weeks,
okay.
But we have engaged someone. Hometown Hero Band, by the way, that's going to be re-roping them and putting a new ball and pulley on top. Okay. Hometown Hero banners are scheduled to go up next week, weather permitting. We have 2 rounds of banners going up. We do have a stockpile, and we have
We have the right size this time?
Well, yes, yes. So hopefully we can get them done in the span of a week. Bulk and vegetation pickup reminder. As a reminder, pickup occurs on the last Thursday and Friday of every month, with the west side serviced on Thursday and east side on Friday, limited to 3 items per pickup. We're still getting a lot of complaints and residents putting out quite a bit of bulk. Vegetation waste collection started at the beginning of April, with Thursday pickups on the east side and Friday on the west side. Mayor, this concludes my report. Have any questions?
That was really low energy, Paul.
Yes.
You good, man?
I'm good.
Any questions for Paul?
No, Mayor, if I may, Judge Paul, I just wanted to thank you for taking care of the sidewalk program, and I just wanted to also say thank you to whoever residents were patient with us, because what some people don't understand is we don't have unlimited money and things are budgeted. And so you attacked the ones last year, and now you are finishing up that list, and I just wanted to thank you about it.
Yeah,
I know
and-
we've been in communication, and you responded immediately, and I appreciate that.
Just for an update of what's happening right now between the vendor and the borough, what I'm trying to coordinate is he's calculating the amount of square footage he did versus what we allocated in money. If there's any money left over, I'm going to do a few more sidewalks, because recently there is a request that was left behind, but there's also, I don't know, 5 or 6 that requests that came in the last week. So if we have the funds, I'll take care of them. If not, they're going to have to wait to the next round.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Chief, wanna come up?
Good evening, everyone. I know I wished him a happy birthday earlier, but Ken, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ken.
I want to put that on the record. So I submitted my April report. I just want to highlight a couple of bulletins on here. On April 18th, I attended and participated in a fundraiser dinner to raise funds for Sergeant Joshua Madrano to be sponsored as a rider in the National Police Unity Tour this year. He'll be once again riding his bicycle from New Jersey to Washington, D.C. in honor of all our fallen brothers and sisters in law enforcement community that paid the ultimate sacrifice, and I want to wish him the best. April 23rd, the Roselle Park Police Department conducted a motor vehicle inspection checkpoint with the assistance of the NJMVC mobile inspection team on Galloping Hill Road and East Colfax Avenue. The checkpoint resulted in 43 motorists getting their vehicles inspected, 1 vehicle impound, 19 summonses issued, and 1 arrest on a wanted person. April 26th, I attended the Roselle Park Law Enforcement Against Drugs graduation ceremony at the Roselle Park High School, honoring all the 5th grade students from Robert Gordon, Sherman, and Aldine schools that participated in the program that was taught by Detective Gregory Polikowski, Detective Ryan Hokinson, Officer Jessica Cabernero, and Officer Brian Matthews. That was well attended, and it was a very nice ceremony. April 25th, the Roselle Park Police Department sponsored Take Your Child to Work Day. It was organized by our community policing unit, and they did a great job with it. The children had a great time, and so did the officers. Thank you to the Roselle Park Fire Department also for assisting in one of our presentations. Lastly, on April 30th, we closed out our grant for the statewide distracted driving campaign, which resulted in 207 traffic stops, 89 warnings, 118 summonses. Mayor, that's the conclusion of my report.
Cool. Any questions for the chief?
I just want to thank you for that favor you did for me last week with my friend.
Yes, sir.
He's, I appreciate it. I mean, he's resting well in the hospital. So
Happy to assist.
You and your officers, I really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
Mayor, thank you.
John Reading?
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank Mayor Signorello and Town Council for giving me the opportunity to provide a brief update. The goal of the Roselle Park Recreation Department is to meet the recreational needs of our community. As part of our department's effort to meet these needs and expand community services, our department provides a wide range of programs. Membership and recreation, we currently have over 515 recreational members. Homework and aftercare, we currently have over 136 students daily, and we're transporting or chaperoning 87. Once homework is complete, we organize science fun, arts and crafts, bingo, board games, kinetic sand, magnetic tiles, drawing, marble runs, Legos, individual and team games, to name a few. The ASYC has either hosted or accommodated the following meetings/events. Boys and Girls Scouts, various RP, SD, PTA meetings, Recreation Committee, Diversity and Inclusion, community fairs and events, recreational sport parties, CPEG, Diversity Pro Wrestling event, and DMV, to name a few. The following spring recreational programming has started: elementary and middle school tennis, spring middle school, high school, and adult strength and conditioning, spring volleyball, adult basketball, and off-season wrestling. We remain committed to providing the best possible care and programming. We believe our department offers our community members a wide range of programs. I'd be remiss if I did not personally thank Mayor Signorello and Town Council for taking time out of their busy agenda to acknowledge our outstanding winter basketball team and individual wrestlers' accomplishments. As always, the Recreation Department can be reached at recreation@rosellepark.net with any questions or concerns. That completes our May Recreational Department update. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kevin?
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for having me. Be brief. So a couple weeks ago, we looked at the Walnut Street Basin, the kind of areas downstream of that. That kind of ties together with the work we were already doing with the Lincoln Avenue culvert that eventually runs down to Locust Street. We're getting quotes now to do a televised inspection of that culvert in certain sections, and we're also looking at the drainage area that contributes to that basin and see how the two tie together and hopefully come up with a plan to alleviate some of that flooding, some of the runoff that comes through under the railroad tracks there. But in the next couple of weeks, I'll have a kind of a point-by-point, step-by-step, process that we should go through and what I would recommend we do and what those costs associated with that would be.
Did you get access to the Neglia maps that we have? Has that been helpful at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some of that stuff for information that's helpful to pull up.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
that's good. The next one, the big one, the storm sewer separation project, as you know, we have an agreement pending. As part of those conditions, there's some items that we need to do as far as reporting, scheduling wise. So right now, we're kind of putting that together to report to Elizabeth, and then we'll proceed just with our continued looking for sources for funding. I know NJDEP does have resilient community grants. I believe it's coming out soon, so that's one of them we'll target. And we'll see what else comes out this summer as well. And as we have our alignment and our survey and more information prepared, we'll use that information to submit for those grant applications.
Cool.
That concludes my report.
Any questions for Kevin?
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Ken Blum.
Thanks, Mayor. Just that taxes are currently due. You have until May 10th to pay without interest.
Andrew Kazais.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of things. First, I want to remind all voters that the deadline to register to vote is May 14th for the primary election. You can register online or in person. My office is open until 8 o'clock in the evening that night. Tomorrow, we will be holding a pre-construction meeting for 2024 capital roads. It'll be our first major capital project of 2024. 3 streets subject to this improvement are Grant Avenue from Bender Avenue to Galloping Hill Road, and Pine and Larch Street from West Sumner Avenue to West Roselle Avenue. Also want to make a note that parking meters are finally going in. It's been kind of a long slog trying to manage getting parking back in our downtown and managing parking in the downtown. The meters that are not functioning right now will be repaired over the next week or two. Pads have been poured for the installation of the solar meters that will be going in. There'll be 8 going in on Chestnut Street, 4 going in on Westfield Avenue, with more to come in the near future thereafter. There will also be numbering and renumbering of spaces to coordinate or to correlate with the parking meter system that will be implemented.
And we'll also have the updates on the loading zones and all that at the same time, Otis?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So there'll be a lot of striping and new, you'll see a lot of new crisps, white and yellow striping in the downtown, and that's indicative of these things kind of coming to fruition. The last thing I want to note, this is the first time I really got to speak at length. I want to thank everybody for their accommodation and their patience during my absence over the last, month and a half, 2 months. My son is great, cries a lot, sleeps a lot. I appreciate everybody's patience, and certainly for all the backlog of emails, I've almost caught up. So again, thank you for your patience and your generosity. That's all, Mayor.
Okay. Ruben. I was going to fake you out and just keep going, but you knew it was coming.
Thank you, Mayor. Too short in here. Good evening, everybody. On Friday, April 26th, we celebrated Arbor Day at Aldine Elementary School. Thank you to Council at Large Joe Signorello Jr., Council President Joe Petrosky, Councilman Jay Ropina, School Superintendent Mrs. Goyce, Principal Dr. Scully, Environmental Commission Chair Tim Coakley, the Student Council, members of the Board of Education, DPW, and residents for taking part in this event and planting a tree. The borough held its annual Meet the Borough event on Saturday, April 27th. 5 new families attended the event to learn more about the borough and the services it offers. Thank you, Council President Joe Petrosky, Councilman Johnson, Councilman Patel, Councilman Robina, Youth Center Director Mr. Neri, Library Director Mr. Tian, Diversity Committee, Environmental Commission, and local businesses for taking the time to attend the event and providing valuable information to new residents. This month, our seniors will be enjoying free shows at the PNC Art Center. Transportation will be provided to Roselle Park seniors on a first-come, first-served basis. Seats are limited. We have 15 free tickets available for each of the 4 upcoming shows. The first show is on May 8th, then May 15th, May 20th, and May 30th. The mobile unit of New Jersey MVC will be visiting the borough on May 20th and 21st at Michael Mooney Gazebo parking lot from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To make an appointment, please visit our social media page. There's a link. You'll have to register up there. The following transactions cannot be performed at the event: business vehicle registrations, CDLs, endorsements, knowledge tests, out-of-state license transfer, and permit tests. On May 24th, Casano Center will be hosting a karaoke night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The event is free and open to the public and will include games, karaoke, fun, and refreshments. The borough will be hosting its annual Memorial Day Parade and service on May 27th. The parade will begin at 10 a.m. with the lineup starting at 9 a.m. at Sherman Elementary School. After the parade, there will be a service at the library. So far, we have 31 groups and organizations who had committed to participate in the parade. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Any questions for Ruben? Thanks, Ruben.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben.
Okay. May I have a motion to accept the reports of departments as submitted?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please read ordinance number 2776 by title.
Yes, Mayor. Ordinance 2776 is an ordinance for second reading and public hearing. A bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new information technology equipment, and new automotive vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the Borough of Roselle Park in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $3,987,000 to pay the cost thereof, to appropriate various grants, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 2776?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If you'd like to come up and speak on this ordinance, you may do so now. Is this the Marianne one?
Yeah.
Looking out for you.
First question on this ordinance, under Section M, it states that the improvement was going to go from Grant from Locust to Union Road, but now did it,
Closer.
we're good now?
Yeah, thank you.
You can hear, I have a loud voice, Joe.
I didn't say that.
Is that going to be, because I thought I heard you read that now, that's a different area where it's going to go from Bender to Galloping Hill Road?
Yeah, so
Because
there's-
Grant is a mess.
Sure. So there's two separate, there's actually two separate projects. So the project that will more than likely happen first and earlier in the year is the paving of East Grand Avenue from Bender Avenue to Galloping Hill Road. That will address a lot of the area that was disturbed previously by the gas company, where our permitting requirements were separate, and that permit was issued years ago.
Right, yeah.
So full restoration was not required of the roadway. So that will address that in the immediate future.
Okay.
Pursuant to this bond ordinance, this program, that road in particular, the borough received $220,000 from the Community Development Block Grant Program. That will stretch from Locust Street in front of the schools to about Union Road. There's a little bit of gas work that's going to overlap it, so we may change the scope, but either way, that whole stretch will be paved. If anything, the gas company may kick in a couple of dollars or do the road paving for a small portion over by Union Road, because they're working over in that area. But so both will happen this year.
Because the curve of Bender, there's, right between Bender and Charlotte.
Yep.
There's a big, it's starting to sink.
Right.
Quite a bit from over the winter.
Yep.
So I just was.
So that area will be addressed first.
Okay.
Second, and hopefully over the summer months when school's not in session, this work from Locust to Union Road will happen.
The other note I have is Section 4, subsection H, which is a statue.
This is what I was expecting.
No, this is what you were expecting, I'm sure.
This is what I was waiting for.
No, to me, I know it's something for the town, but nobody in town knows that this was occurring. Also, the choice of Mr. Rick Barry was, I don't think, on everybody's top 10. But I was saying if there was other suggestions to make, or that people could make suggestions for other things, if there has to be a statue. I don't think there should be a statue to anybody. But I have no affiliation with this family, but Keith Lonecker, born and raised in town, went to high school, had a severe injury in high school, rehabilitated himself, got a scholarship to the University of Kansas, then got drafted by the Rams and the Falcons. I mean, after that, he starred in over 14 movies, one of them Jersey Boys, which was just a recent movie. And when he wasn't acting, he was a substitute teacher. And unfortunately, he passed away from cancer, and he has 2 children. But there is still family in town. Like I said, I haven't talked to them. I have no affiliation with them at all. But I was just saying, here's someone that actually says he's from Roselle Park. And I'm just saying, if we were looking for other suggestions other than Mr. Rick Barry, I just thought maybe Lonecker could be running.
I have a couple of reactions to that, and I appreciate the discourse. Okay, all right. People feel strongly about the Rick Barry statue.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got Weed and Rick Barry on the menu tonight. Okay, so I totally get some of what you're saying. I've actually, Councilman Petrosky brought up Mr. Lonecker as well. It's my view that this is the start of something, not the end of something, right?
Great.
And I don't know if they'll all be of this size and scale, but there's something I want to do for Marconi. There's something I want to do for Edison.
Tesla.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think part of that, as part of the train station redevelopment, every train station in New Jersey is now required to have some art installation, so we can do that as part of that. I've already committed to Councilman Petrosky that we will do something for Mr. Lonecker next year. So you got it on record now, Joe P. There's no backing out.
I didn't even talk to Joe about it.
Yeah.
So.
And what a gentleman he was.
Fantastic family, right? Look, I've personally talked to Rick, which was a kick in the pants. I don't know there seems to be a little bit of a generational divide of people who seem to have a view of him of maybe who he was, maybe who he is now. He's honored and tickled pink, and he had nothing but glowing things to say about Roselle Park. Sure. And he brought up, his relationship with, Hermshaw. I've only seen it Hermshaw Field. Finizio, he was asking how he was. So he spoke pretty glowingly of Roselle Park. I would just say, I think part of why this is something important is I think it's very, very rare to have, we are a square mile town. And this is somebody who, in my mind, is incredibly noteworthy, that is in the Basketball Hall of Fame, consistently ranked in the top 50 in basketball. I think it's something that is inspiring for kids to get more active, right? I'm somebody who's probably on my, video games too much. I told him I was not tall enough to play basketball. He's hoping that this could make more basketball play. He said, it's a wrestling town. I said, I know. He said, maybe this can inspire more basketball players. I really think this is the start of something, not the end of something. The placing, I think we need to talk about. I've talked about with the board president about maybe potentially putting it in front of the middle school where he actually played. I know there's some consternation about the location. But yeah, I get it. I think we can solicit more public input, but that's where my head's at. And just the last thing I want to say. So the artist is a local New Jersey artist too. So he does all of the Basketball Hall of Fame busts, right? So it's also kind of special having somebody who does that in New Jersey, Jersey-based, doing something here.
So like this appropriated money that's here is not just for, it could be for a myriad
we could repurpose it for something else.
No, I'm saying like, because you and I just mentioned 5 people. So could this, instead of specifically 150,000 going just for this, could it be for the other ones also?
The hope is to do something eye-catching for this particular individual, right? And not to cast any shade to anybody else, right? But being a Hall of Famer, and there's being in professional sports, right? So that's my view.
Yep.
You know, I mean, look, we're not going to change the ordinance tonight, but we've changed bond ordinances in the past. But that's how it stands right now.
Okay, let's see. How did you know I was going to talk about?
I got a little birdie tipped me off.
I know who that was.
He said those environmental commission meetings are wild. Anybody else want to come speak on this ordinance? I'm seeing no one else. May I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 2776?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2776?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Yep.
As, again, Rick Barry statue, again, we're spending $150,000. Personally, I don't know him. A lot of my friends who actually, I don't watch basketball, but a lot of my friends who actually do watch basketball, they don't know him either. So can you elaborate, like, what has Rick Barry done, like, for community, for Roselle Park, what has given back? You know, we're spending $150,000 on him, so.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, he's a notable person from Roselle Park, right? So that's where my head's at. Do I know offhand what he's done for the borough of Roselle Park? No. Do I know that he wants to run a basketball clinic in Roselle Park this year? Yes. Is that something that he does consistently? No. I would say in comparable small towns like Roselle Park, you know, Larry Bird is also in the greatest basketball players forever. He is from a town even smaller in Indiana from the borough of Roselle Park, and he has something similar. You know, they do something similar for Michael Jordan. You may not have heard of him. He's a legend, and I think it makes sense. I think it's something attention-grabbing. And I would also add, Councilman, right, like, I know where this is coming from, and I understand there's shocking price tags, but I can assure you that this council has also seen some very, very interesting other things come past this council, similarly priced, right? We had, as when I first got elected, a bandstand that was ready to get passed for $110,000 for something we get for free from the county every year. We have a $90,000 in 2009 money, roller skating rink that was used for 1 year and left to be abandoned in the DPW yard and only used for safeguards when we have the fireworks. So look, I think this is something that's going to last a lifetime versus some other things that we've seen, you know, in the past.
Yeah, I understand that, but as far as that, it's something that, you know, totally, I don't think it's worth spending that much money. To that, I'd like to make a motion to remove the section H from the ordinance.
Okay, is there a second? I'm seeing no one. Okay. Any further discussion? May I have a motion to adopt?
So move.
Oh, sorry, please call the roll.
Are we still on discussion?
Oh, if you want to add discussion, yeah, I didn't mean to skip you over. Go ahead, Greg.
No, just go ahead.
Did you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
Come on, man.
No, just go ahead.
All right. Call the roll, Andrew.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Urbina is absent. Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
No.
4 votes in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, 1 absent. The ordinance is adopted.
Okay, please read ordinance number 2777 by title.
Yes, Mayor. Ordinance 2777 is an ordinance for second reading and public hearing, an ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park entitled Traffic with specific amendments to Section 11 entitled Stopping or Standing Prohibited During Certain Hours on Certain Streets, Section 12 entitled Parking Time Limited on Certain Streets, Section 14 entitled Parking Prohibited at All Times on Certain Streets, Section 37 entitled Loading Zones, and Section 42 entitled Fire Lanes.
Okay, may I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 2777?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would anybody like to come up and speak on this ordinance specifically? Okay, I'm seeing no one. May I have a motion to close the public portion on ordinance number 2777?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2777?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'm hearing none. Andrew, please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Urbina is absent. Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
Sorry. 5 votes in the affirmative, 1 absent. The ordinance is adopted.
Okay, please read ordinance number 2778 by title.
Yes, Mayor. Ordinance 2778 is an ordinance for second reading and public hearing, an ordinance amending Chapter 7, Section 17, subsection 17.2 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park entitled Preferential Parking Zones, Locations, and Restrictions.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 2778?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Would anybody like to come up and speak on this ordinance?
So move.
Nope, not yet. Hold your fire, Joe.
Close.
I'm seeing no one. May I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 2778?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second time you got it, Joe. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2778?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Councilman Patel, I think this is yours. You want to say anything?
Yeah, so just to highlight, this ordinance itself is going to implement permit parking starting from the corner of the Girl Scout Park from West Clay to Meadow. This is because in that particular area, we have a lot of cars that do go abandoned, and a lot of people leave their cars for days, and residents don't have parking to park on. So this is just a section off West Grant, so this is what it's going to do.
Good job, Councilman. I think this is a good one.
Hopefully it works.
So they need something over there. Okay, Andrew, call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
5 votes in the affirmative, 1 absent. The ordinance is adopted.
Please read ordinance number 2779 by title.
Yes, Mayor. Ordinance 2779 is an ordinance for second reading and public hearing, an ordinance amending Chapter 7, Section 20 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park entitled Stop Intersections.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 2779?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would anybody like to come up and speak on this ordinance? I am seeing no one. May I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 2779?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2779?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Andrew, please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
5 votes in the affirmative, 1 absent. Ordinance is adopted.
Okay. All matters listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the governing body so requests, in which case they will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda as part of the general orders. Please call the resolutions listed on the consent agenda by title.
Yes, Mayor. Resolution 11024 is authorizing the 2024 municipal budget to be read by title only. Resolution 11124 is adopting the 2024 municipal budget. Resolution 11224 is authorizing the purchase of 2 flashing LED stop signs for the installation at the intersection of Filbert Street and Warren Avenue. Resolution 11324 is authorizing the purchase of 2 flashing LED stop signs for the installation at the intersection of Sheridan Avenue and East Lincoln Avenue. Resolution 11424 is accepting the resignation of Chris Shoemaker from the position of Community Center Clerk. Resolution 11524 is accepting the resignation of Myrtle I. Hope from the position of Community Center Clerk. Resolution 11624 is granting permission for the public display of fireworks by Celebration Fireworks, Inc. in connection with the Borough of Roselle Park's 2024 Independence Day celebration in conformity with Section 5601243 of the Fire Code of the State of New Jersey. Resolution 11724 is requesting permission from the County of Union to hang banners and close Chestnut Street at various times and for various public events during 2024. Resolution 11824 is authorizing the treasurer to issue 1 check totaling $587.26 payable to 1 lien holder on 1 property and 1 check totaling $200 from the tax collector's premium account. And Resolution 11924 is awarding a contract to Severe Structures LLC for the project Roselle Park Housing Rehabilitation Program, case number RP-55, in an amount not to exceed $22,550.
Okay, are we pulling anything?
111.
111?
111.
Okay. Do they have a motion to approve the resolutions remaining on the consent agenda?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion? It's cold in here. Did you
Turn
turn
it
up?
off.
It's freezing.
Yeah, turn it
Did you make it
That was
colder?
me.
Oh, okay, I got it. May I have a motion to adopt resolution 111-24?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Let,
Second.
you could go first.
Have a second?
Oh, did I
Was there
get
a
a second? I think Greg seconded it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Let's focus on the air
I
conditioning.
don't have any comments.
Okay.
You have a comment? You want?
No, I don't have
Okay.
any comments.
So I'd like to, 111?
Yep.
So I want to say I was proud of being part of the budget meeting. It was tough, it was rewarding, and also concerning that we had to come up with a number and do the best for the community. And we met 6 times to whittle down from $250 to, keep me honest, $134? 122.27. So one of the committee members, Kanjan, was at the meetings, had some input, spoke well, put his input, and comes here last month and pulls it and votes no. Please, if you're on a committee, speak your piece, ask for a number you're shooting for your constituents in your ward and your community. I'm disappointed on it being on the committee. You said nothing, you didn't want to get it down to a number, and you're not representing your ward. And you didn't say nothing. So I'm going to say it to you, shame on you. You voted no because you never said no in those 6 meetings. And Councilman Petrowski, you were there, and I think I'll give him credit. He worked with us to get down the number, but we left with the $124, but he never said, look, I want to get to 99. I want to get to 105, 0. And I've been on many committees in my life and numerous organizations, and we've always left amicably as a team, as a committee, with I call it a product or something. So if you need a councilman, please call me. So I'm disappointed on how you voted no last month, Councilman. And I want to tell you, the public, that this last 4 or 5 years, this mayor and council have done a wonderful job. Go back 24 years when your taxes used to go up 8.9% every year for 24 years. And you know who was in charge. So we don't want to go back to that. And I'm done with that. Thank you.
Epic. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll, Andrew.
Councilman Petrowski.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
No.
4 votes in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, 1 absent. The resolution is adopted.
Okay. Reports of Borough Council committees. Joe Sig Jr., you are your first spot. Go ahead.
I'm going first?
Yeah, you're going first, man. You earned it tonight.
So, thank God for the meters downtown. Thank you, Andrew, for that update. Long time coming. I attended the tree planting at the Aldine School last week. It's always nice to see the trees being planted. I could tell you, being the liaison to the DPW, it's got to be really bad shape or ready to go before we cut it down. I don't want to say I'm a tree hugger, but I'd just like to see you keep those trees going in any possible way. Look, another thing, if you got a tree got planted in front of your house in the last year or 2, water it. Put a little love to it, okay? It was your taxpayers that pay for it, or grant money, water it. Please, put a little water on it. It'd be appreciated. The folks on Woodland Ave, coming down the road, Andrew, within the next couple weeks, there'll
Next
be...
week. Next week they're going to start.
Next week, the 600, 700 block, they'll be restoring the concrete the way it's been for years. And most of you folks came to me back in the fall and said that's the way you like it, and it should be restored to, I don't want to say like when the 30s when they built the street. We have the DMV bus coming to downtown. Best thing since sliced bread. I used it twice. Utilized this DMV mobile system coming to Roselle Park. It's a good thing. Roselle Park Fire Department Memorial Service. Oh boy, excuse me. I should know this date is going to be, I wrote it down 5 times, and May 15th. The Roselle Park Memorial Service will be at Kelly Crawford Park. Outside, if it rained, we'll be going in the firehouse. It's to remember our fallen and past firemen. And today I attended the funeral for Congressman Payne. It was very moving and touching. I think the Borough of Roselle Park, the representative, we lost a good congressman who represented Roselle Park well. I remember a couple years ago on the Congress floor that he spoke about Roselle Park's wrestling 1,000 wins, 4th most in the country, and it was moving, touching to hear him talk about it, a minute about Roselle Park wrestling. So he'll be dearly missed, If you need to get a hold of me, it's jsignorella@rosellepark.net. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Petrosky. Oh, sorry, Councilman Johnson. I was just going in order today. I mean to skip you over, dude.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents. I just wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude and bid farewell to the Honorable Congressman Donald M. Payne Jr. of the 10th District. Throughout my tenure in office, I have reached out to various state and federal officials who represent our community in Roselle Park, and among these distinguished leaders, Congressman Payne stood out. He was one of the few who not only responded promptly, but also showed genuine enthusiasm for addressing our community's concerns. Whether it was discussing flood issues, letters of support for grants, advocating for safe routes to schools, or participating in our first anti-bullying and youth summit, Congressman Payne was constantly present and supportive. His involvement demonstrated his deep care for our community. Even when I faced opposition in my roles, both in my previous employment and as a union labor leader, and powerful individuals tried to affect our relationship, Congressman Payne remained steadfast. His integrity earned my profound respect. He always maintained an open door policy with me, recognizing and supporting my passion to help others. He judged me based on my character and not based on the rumor mill or what others say. Respect and communication are critical, especially today. I am deeply saddened by his passing and extend my heartfelt condolences to his family. May God bless them and may he rest eternally in peace. I had the opportunity to attend the wake yesterday, and I just wanted to say thank you forever. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Very well said. Councilman Petrosky.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to send condolences out to Mary Ann Hildebrandt and also Congressman Donald Payne, okay? And again, I appreciate what he did when Roselle Park got their 1,000th win, and he announced it at the Congress Hall. So that was great, I thought, okay? On April 22nd, I attended the Gordon Street ribbon cutting. Again, that bridge does get a lot of use out of, so it's been open for a while, but I was glad they had the dedication. On the 26th, I attended the Arbor Day at Aldine School, where we planted a couple trees. I appreciate everyone that was there, and again, it's good to plant trees, and you know, I appreciate again the kids were great singing and everything like that. So again, thank you. On the 27th, I attended Meet the Borough at the Casano Center. Not a great turnout, but you know, it was, you know, I met.
My neighbors were happy to see you.
Yeah, I know. They talk highly of you, actually. I did meet 3 of my residents, and I will be giving out bags to the rest of the residents that didn't show up. But I think it's a good event, and this way they get to find out what's going on in Roselle Park. Yesterday I attended and I know I'm going to butcher the name, but you know,
Kamamo's
Place, okay, which is a Colombian restaurant at 405 West Westfield Avenue. The people all there, the owners, and very nice and everything, so I hope they do very well. As the Councilman Signorella said, May 15 is the Fireman Memorial. And again, Dominic, I want to thank you for helping my friend out. He's in the hospital, resting well. Hopefully he'll stay this time, and you know. But I appreciate what you and your officers did. And his sister told me to give you a special thank you also. So, again, thank you. And also, if you need to contact me, get me at jpetrosky@rosellepark.net, 908-666-7821, And that's my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Councilwoman Lyons?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Roselle Park residents. I was able to attend the Meet the Borough this past Saturday at the community center, and it was great to meet a few of the new residents. And we also have care packages for, well, we're calling them care packages, just little things from the borough with business information and just being able to go and visit each new homeowner. So I know the council for the ward is actually going to visit each home. So I love that idea. It's a really quick, I guess, report for me. I just support the community center, the youth center, the library. It's really open to all of us. There are great directors there that have so many programs there. Please check out their calendar for each month and go to the Roselle Park app. We have updated it. I just updated mine. And please attend our events because they're for you and to connect. Other than here, we love seeing you here. You have a voice, but to also know that we are a community and we want to be together at these things. And I just want to say, even in regards to the statue, I personally am proud and eager to learn about people that are from Roselle Park. I love the idea with the Lonecker as well, with Keith Lonecker. I personally knew him and then other people. So I'm encouraged that you said that, Mayor, that it is the beginning of something. And to be able to say that Roselle Park is small but powerful. And I'm sorry, Kanjan, but even if you didn't hear of him, that doesn't mean that it's not important. So I'm just saying, I just honor that, and I'm excited for the things to come. And even for the banners and everything, people are saying things about it. And for me, to beautify and to make change, sometimes it is hard, but at the same time, really think about what's happening. Look around. Things are being built up in Roselle Park. Everything that we did in the third ward, the sidewalks.
Looks beautiful. By the way, the cleaning, after the cleaning today,
Yes.
like you could eat off of it.
So we have to be grateful is what I'm saying. I know everybody's nitpicking and it's hard. My mom is still here. She has 2 homes here. Our families are here. And just remember that in everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Patel?
Yeah. Good evening. The Environmental Commission still has a couple of community gardens plot left for the rental this year. Please contact me or the Environmental Commission to sign up. The garden will be open to the public beginning of Saturday, May 11th. Last Sunday, I attended the new resident event, dropped off bags to the residents who couldn't come to the event. If you are a new resident and didn't get a bag, please contact me. Last week, Conrail crew was on site at the Roosevelt Street Tunnel for painting and improvement. Thank you everyone involved and the residents for your patience as we continue to improve the tunnel. Lastly, I would like to extend my condolences to Congressman Donald Payne Jr.'s family and thank you for your service to New Jersey. May you rest in peace. Have a good night. K. Patel, RosellePark.net. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I have a short one. I'm also going to just say a short anecdote about Congressman Payne. Already people are sadly jockeying for his position. And I was really offended this week by somebody who said, well, we're going to be there more for Roselle Park than Congressman Payne was, and I'm not going to name the name. But, I think the assumption was because he mostly represents Newark that he didn't care about Roselle Park. I don't see eye to eye with Congressman Tom Kane. He was our state senator then. But the first 2 people when I got elected 6 years ago that reached out in very quick succession were then State Senator Tom Kane Jr., and shortly thereafter, Congressman Payne. And he's always made it a point to come to Roselle Park and keep us in the loop. So he will be sorely missed. I had no idea this was coming. As a matter of fact, we were texting a week before any of this happened, about one of the bills that were getting passed, like supporting it, trying to support the discharge bill for foreign aid. And he was like, yeah, man, we got to reschedule something at Costa's. He loves going to Costa's. I loved going to Costa's. He actually wanted to have his offices here in Roselle Park. Something happened with that, but would have been nice. But anyway, you'll be sorely missed, Congressman Payne. Sorry I couldn't make the services today, but I'm glad we had somebody from Roselle Park there. Also, one other thing, we have the Tricky Tray for Aldine coming up this weekend. Constance, starts at 6 p.m.? Doors open at 4, thank you. At the Kenilworth, is it American Legion or VFW?
Oh, it was-
It's a VFW. Kenilworth, doors open at 4, Kenilworth VFW.
Yeah.
And I start pulling tickets at 6. Thank you for reminding me. Last year, I hosted. I'm going to be hosting again. Constance asked me to do it again. I have no idea why. The reviews were terrible last year. I got somebody on Facebook saying it was the worst they'd ever attended and that the mayor ruined it. So you have that to look forward to. This is me. What it's going to be like Saturday night is making really bad jokes to nobody laughing. So good warm up. It was rough, huh? Yeah. What do you? Yeah, fair enough. But it's a very, very good event and for a very good cause, so I hope you come and attend. I also bought a table and have some seats if anybody wants to come sit at my table. Okay. MayorSig@RosellPark.net if you have any questions. And that concludes my report. Okay, public portion. So may I have a motion to open the public portion on any subject?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, anybody who wants to come up and speak about any subject matter may do so now. 3, 2, 1. I'm seeing no one. May I have a motion to close the public portion on a subject matter?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, there are no items for closed session. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good meeting, everybody.